Joining me now is the chairman of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus. Chairman Priebus, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Good morning, Chuck.
Let me ask you, you talked about the other day on the Today Show that you wanted all the candidates to pledge that they would not run as a third party. How do you go about getting that pledge, and have you personally made phone calls to all the candidates asking for that pledge, including Mr. Trump?
I haven't made phone calls to every candidate, Chuck, but what I was saying on the Today Show was simply that if you're going to run for the nomination of our private organization, which is the Republican Party, that it only makes sense that you would, number one, agree that a Republican would be better than a Democrat running on the other side, and that you wouldn't run as a third party, because I think a third party, at least a serious one, on either side of the aisle would be a death wish to both parties. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say that candidates ought to support on our side the Republican nominee if it's not them, and they ought to pledge not to run as a third party. So we'll see where this goes, but I guess you could say it was the beginning of that conversation.
Let me ask you this about Donald Trump himself. We've got a new poll that's coming out, and I'll sneak in the one question I asked him. A majority of the country believes he is hurting the image of the Republican Party. Do you believe Donald Trump is helping or hurting the image of the Republican Party?
You know, I guess you could, first of all, I don't think it hurts. I think that Donald Trump and the Trump name is kind of a national brand name that I think in Donald Trump's case, I think it is fair to say that Donald Trump speaks for Donald Trump. And so, no, I don't think it has anything to do with the Republican Party. I think all these candidates speak for themselves. I think when we get a nominee, though, I know we're analyzing week by week, but just some, we're going to have a nominee probably by the end of March, the beginning of April. You have April, May, June, July, August, the convention, September, October. I just think that those months are like years, and I just don't see it. And I think both sides are going to have nominees that are going to speak for the party. But right now, none of these candidates speak for the party. We speak for the party.
I'm saving this tape because you're predicting that you're going to have a quick nomination and that it will end in March. We'll see about that. Let me ask you about...
I think it will.
Okay. Let me ask you about the debate process. We now have this scramble. Looking at the top 10 of polls, you have junior debate, you have a top 10. Is this what you had in mind when you were trying to take control of the debate process? Because it seems as if all of a sudden national polling is having an undue influence about who should be on stage for a first debate. Is this really what you had in mind?
Well, yeah, I mean, Chuck, national polling's always been determinative of these debates. Now, when you get into the Iowa debate and the New Hampshire debate and the South Carolina debate, then those state polls are going to have a play into who's on the debate stage. But you might recall, I think everyone's got amnesia, but, John Huntsman didn't make one of the debates. Gary Johnson didn't make debates. The fact is, we're proud of where we've come. We want to do a few things that no one thought we could ever do as a non-staging entity under the Federal Election Commission law, which is another topic would bore your listeners to get into. Right. But the truth is, we wanted to do a few things. One, we wanted to limit debates. We did that. The second thing is we wanted to have some say on who the moderators are. We did that. And so this idea of what companies decide to do with the corporate airtime that they have is, as a matter of law, their decision. Now, one last thing, and I'll move on. But all 17 candidates, Chuck, are going to be participating in debate night. So everyone's going to have an opportunity. I think that's wonderful for our party.
All right. Chairman Reince Priebus, we'll be watching. I know we'll be hearing a lot from you this week, I imagine, as the spotlight goes to you and the rest of the field. Thanks for coming on Meet the Press.
Thank you.